Hey, what's up, guys? Tuki here, back again. I apologize for it being a couple of days, but we are back now. In the last episode, we traded one Mr. Sizik and acquired, well, we acquired a franchise-level player, didn't we? That being Ned Panayi. And he, of course, is going to be one of the focal points of this team moving forward as we finally moved on from the Bergevin core. Those changes shall continue in this episode. Now, much like with the Hartford series, there is currently the ongoing debate of whether or not I give up on certain prospects a bit too easily. So we are going to be signing some of these weaker players that I would normally get rid of because I don't have confidence that they're going to develop. We're going to hold on to them, and we'll see if they actually develop. If they do, cool. If not, then hey, we missed out on being able to trade them for something half decent, but at least now we'll know. As we begin this re-sign phase, though, we are going to look to get a bit of a discount on one Noah Juleson. Norm Jenks as well needs to be hopefully signed to a slightly reduced contract. That would be down to 2.4, so we'll sign him at 2.5. Rumble. And Andrew Smith, for that matter. Here's the problem. I'll sign him. I will. I'll sign him. But if he and Smith start taking away spots from prospects that we actually need to develop, they have to go. Kip Conklin needs a deal as well. We'll see if we can get him to a slightly cheaper one. We'll go to 2.1. So I'm not going with the full 85% trick, as now we get into the fun stuff of releasing the entire Calder Cup winning team, including Nico Ojimaki, who killed it in the postseason. But he is gone, and we still have Cam Atkinson for one more year at that absurd contract. But considering we have $53 million in cap space, he's not going to be only a player. He's not going to be the only one that we have signed to a fairly stupid deal. Preston Garlock, to be honest, it does kind of make, going with the 85% trick to be a little bit pointless because, we are going to have to sign some of these guys to really stupid deals, but it is still worth it to save that money in the long run, because before you know it, we'll be right up against the cap again, and we'll have to try and balance it. And then we would have wished that we were, a bit smarter about, rolling with the 85% trick, especially in the case of, it is Kip Conklin, isn't it? I might have been wrong. Am I confusing Kips? Which one's Kip? I don't remember. We're going to drop this down to 7.8 million doll hairs. Kirk Cunning. It's Kirk Cunning and Kip Conklin. Okay, I was right, but damn, those names still confuse me. Philip Deneau has been a great servant to this team for the entirety of this series, and we will look for that to continue. We'll try to get him at 2.7. Murray Heinote is his first big boy contract. If I can type in the contract number correctly, that would probably help. We'll knock it down to just 1.6. We're not even going to save that much. Heinz is out the door. Lorentz, Mark McNeil, Tanner Caro, and Alan Quine. See you boys later. It was nice having you on this team for a season, but it is your time to leave. That brings us down to 20 contracts. I do want to leave a couple of spots open for when we get to the free agency period, because let's be honest, there will probably be some prospects that are worth signing, as unfortunately a couple of players have rejected. That's okay. I wanted to try the 85% trick. If it didn't work, or the 75% trick in a way too, for some of the offers that we were sending out, for whoever declined, now we can just pay them whatever the hell they want. It's perfect. So, Mr. Garlock, I'll pay you I'll pay you a little bit more than what you want. That's fine. We at least saved some money in some spots, although, Juleson, if you could drop that number a bit, that's a bit too much to be paying Noah Juleson at this point in time, but we can afford to do so That's the only reason why I'm willing to. It might be difficult to trade that contract at some point. We'll see. We don't even know if he's going to accept the slightly reduced offer. He did. Unfortunately, Philip Deneau did not. Deneau is, pretty steadfast. He is determined to get the amount of money that he wants. And considering we'll still have $30 million, we'll still have $30 million. Screw it, Philip. Why not? You get your money. It's fine. Show me the money is what he is requesting, and he will indeed get his money. Or not. All right. Consider... I have to let him go. Maybe. If he accepts a 1-year deal, sure. But he's pushing his luck. I think you can admit that. He is pushing his luck. 1 year at $4.25. That way I can get rid of you if I have to. But 2 years at over $3 million? No. 1 year at $4, I can make that work. Let's see if he accepts. If he continues to be difficult, which he didn't. I know what you're thinking. Like, what the hell? You offered him even more money? It was more the term and the money combined. That was the problem. I didn't mind giving him a little bit of term, but he wasn't getting the term and the money. So we'll just give him the money. As far as players that are worth signing, it would be nice to bring Casey Middlestad to this team after all of this time. But let's take a look at goaltenders. There is nobody there. Any prospects? You got Georgievic, and that's it, basically. So 54 overall, 20 years old. Pete Georgievic. We might as well send him an offer. Because why not? Defense, anybody good? Well, I can't say Nick Hague isn't good. Because it's Nick frickin' Hague. Weissmuller, though. We could look to sign him. There's a chance I'm going to send an offer out to Hague, actually. Right wings, do we have anybody? Cole Lind? Do we turn this into rebuilding Hockey Town at this point? It's kind of looking like what the game wants me to do. Considering there are very few players. It was actually Ryan Poehling, too. That should have been a part of this team. He didn't really develop it, did he? Not at all. So, unfortunately, there aren't really a ton of players that are worth signing. So that puts us into a pretty rough spot when we're talking about what the team's going to look like again this year. Because of that, let's go ahead and sign all of our unsigned players, and we'll figure out how to progress from there. So this could be a rough year for this organization, depending on who we end up signing. I'm just going to basically bring in everybody that we can, and we'll see what the team looks like from there, with the exception of Morris. He is not worth bringing in. And we'll pretty much just get rid of him. I am sorry, Morris. But actually, you know what? No, screw it. Whatever. I'll even sign somebody that I typically wouldn't sign. Rocky Morris, great name. You get signed. As will Buckley. Why not? Just to fill out the roster. Although we are going to have to double check now to see how many of these guys are going back to junior. That could cause us some issues, depending on who is and who isn't indeed going back to junior. And of course, we drafted a guy named Rammer. Great day. Bradley Rammer. What a name. So, on the roster, goaltenders, we know we're good with those two. Hopefully, Phil Shea becomes a legitimate backup. He already is. Wonderful. Goaltending, we need 2 goalies because Russ Peterson is good to go. Unfortunately, Serge Gagne will go back to junior. So we need 2 goaltenders. Didn't mean to back out there, but that's okay. We need 2 goalies. I'm actually going to keep track of this so I don't have to keep coming back. Defense, we know those guys are pretty much locked in. Yzerman is Canadian, so he does not factor in. Let's see, 2, 4, 6. So we have Rumble. That's 1. Hooray. 2. Macaulay, nope. And, all right, so 3 for Morose. So we need 5 to 6 defensemen. That's tremendous. And at forward, we have our 12, 13, 14. Dixon is not going to count, so we have 14. We need 10 more. 14. Let's see. This is bad. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 20. All right, so we have 20 forwards that are worth signing, which means we need, God, how many do we need here? About another 6 forwards at this rate, because we need the other 4 just to fill out the lineup. And on top of that, we need depth. So yeah, actually we need like 7 forwards. Good Lord. So for goaltenders, who do we have? We have already approached Georgievic. I need 1 more goalie. Doesn't matter who. Doesn't matter who. We could look for a veteran. We could look for Tristan Jarry. Really doesn't matter. We could bring back Tristan Jarry. Or not bring back, but we could sign him. Mike Condon is there. It would be better to bring in someone with a minor league role, just to have it not be an issue. Charlie Lindgren. Boy, wouldn't it have been nice if he developed, huh? Wouldn't that have been great? Joseph Wall is still there. Garrett Sparks. Some dude named Danner. Noah Danner. Great name. Ian Scott. Zane McIntyre. Oscar Dance. Jared Coro. It really doesn't matter who I sign here. Matthias Niederberger. His name is Niederberger. It's tremendous. Fuka Fuji. Marcus Hoegberg. You will never be on one of my teams again. Why am I making this so difficult? It really doesn't matter. We'll sign the Golden Knight himself, Maxim Lagacé. Lagacé. My dog is sneezing, and it's hilarious to me. Let's sign him for the season. The problem is, too, we have so much open cap space that we are in a little bit of trouble. We sent out the 1 offer to Weissmuller. So we still need to send out offers to 5 defensemen. Alright, so I'm not even going to pretend that there wasn't a jump cut there, because there was! Had to go let the dog outside, but you gotta do what you gotta do. And the reason why I bring that up is because I don't quite remember what I was going to do. Signing defensemen, that was it. What do we have, 5? I think it was 5 defensemen that we have to sign, all at the AHL level. If I am not mistaken, unless we want to sign guys like Travis Dermott and Josh Manson, let's look for AHL caliber defensemen, which includes Nicholas Hague. Why not? Why not? Willing to take a one-way deal, too. You know what? To the rebuild... Actually, wait, was it a two-way? No, it's a one-way deal. Sweet. So to Nicholas Hague, hold on, $27 million in cap space. Let's pay Nicholas Hague a lot of money. He deserves it. Our captain, oh captain, my captain, from Rebuilding Hockey Town. Let's give him a decent amount of money that he can retire and, you know, ride off into the sunset with, even though he's only 25. We could also sign Yoki Harju, but I'm not as concerned. So I still need 4 more defensemen. Who is that going to include? Who do we have for veterans at this point? Ian Cole. I mean, he's not really useful, though. Yes, and we might as well just go with whoever's available at this point. So let's take a look. I don't want, well, Dep D, man. Victor Mete. Let's look at bringing back Victor Mete. Although he could be claimed on waivers, but that's fine. We need, what, 3 more defensemen minimum? Philip Hronik, it's a Rebuilding Hockey Town reunion. Why not? 2 more defensemen. Boy, this team's defense, though. It's going to be pretty crazy. Paul Ledoux! Let's bring in Paul Ledoux for the 2nd time in the series, if I'm not mistaken. And who else? Goulet, Ethan Bear, Patrick Seeloff, Adam Pellick, Borowiecki. Let's bring back Jarabek after all this time. It's a regular family reunion. And then for forwards, we need like 7 forwards. All basically at the AHL level, because otherwise that's just going to cause problems. So we have Lundstrom, who's an RFA, so maybe we'll get him. We're bringing back Cole Lind after all this time. 5 more. Right. Who else can we bring in? 5 more players that are all right with a minor league role. Barbashev, Julius Natainen. I mean, nah. Matt Nieto, Mitch Stevens, Joel Armia. Anybody else? So many fourth-line players. Eric Holla, Spencer Fu, Brandon Peary, Emile Poirier, Bennett, Karabasic, Kim Basinger, Jamel Smith, Adam Brooks, Timo Polkin. Where's all the minor league players, man? So that way I don't have to worry about signing them. There we go. Wiederer, Cornell, Hudson Fasching. I'll bring in Eric Cornell because your name's easy to pronounce, so why not have that be the reason? Who else here? Who else? Gustav Postler. Can bring him back. Why not? Actually, you know what, too? I was looking for someone that I could send a lot of money to, and Postler is going to be the guy. And when I mean a lot of money, boy, don't I mean a lot of money. I'm thinking like $12 million. I mean, how could you not sign him? Look at that goatee combo. Look at it. It's something. I mean, I don't even know what I'm going on about here at this point. I'm just, trying to kill time until we actually get this goddamn number over to $12 million. I don't know how many more players I need to sign. I'm going to say 4. Maybe. Who's this Ramsey guy? Rick Ramsey. No, thank you. Zach Sanford? Sure. Let's sign Zach Sanford. Carl Hagelin, Carl Grunstrom, Joseph Blandisi, Kevin Rooney. I'll sign Kevin Rooney. I'm okay with that. Devils fans. Represents Jesse Gabriel, Adam Macherine, Mario Lucia, Pascal Laberge. We got to sign Pascal Laberge. Tim Gettinger, Nathan Walker, Australia represent. I can't do an Australian accent. I'll never try. I will never try. Rzichka, Sedlak. I think we're kind of sort of okay for the moment, maybe. I think I signed 1 player too few. Not as many players as I needed. We will double check. I blame the dog. Georgievic, you're a tool. Weissmuller, you're a tool. Thank you both for breaking my heart. Ledoux, Sanford, Rooney, Lagasse, Walker, Jarabek, Cornell, Bossler, Mete, Haig, Kronik, Laberge, Lind. Lundstrom accepted, but we're not going to hear back yet. And there's the match deal for Lundstrom. So let's double check with our current contract situation. We know that we're going to have to sign at least 1 goaltender, but we're already at 50 contracts. Oh no. Oh no. Actually, we're okay for now. It's not going to sign anybody at the AHL level. Let's just get to the start of preseason then, since we're at 50 deals, and we'll sort this gigantic mess out. Yeah. So it's in the next season. Holy hell, look at that. I actually made use of a jump cut this time. It wasn't because I had to let the dog outside. No. It's because I had absolutely nothing to talk about while we were simming through the rest of the offseason. So I figured, hey, let's cut down the episode time, shall we? Let's take a look at this team, which, by the way, first things first, Spike Richmond's a 90 and Phil Shea's an 82. Holy shit, our goaltending looks great. At the AHL level, not so much. The defense. Our defense is basically the same. We got to send those 3 back down to the AHL. And yeah, that's also a little bit of a mess, actually. It's a lot of a mess. Pascal Laberge is a 4th-line guy, but we are 2 players short at the NHL level, and they both need to be 4th-liners. That's a problem. So my thought is we could see how someone like Russell Dixon does as a 67 overall. The rest of them, no way. Oh boy, yeah, we gotta figure out this gigantic mess right now, don't we? So Gagne, we got to make sure he's down in junior. Beautiful. As far as our other goalie prospects, we also have to make sure that they are down, or our other prospects in general, not our other goalie prospects, but our defensive prospects, we have to make sure that they get sent to junior as they should. So let's go ahead and make sure that everybody's down in junior like they should be. Left wings in the system, who do we have? Stelios, Buckley, and Clifford, the big red dog. Let's send those three down. Stelios and Clifford are off to junior. The AHL team is looking rough right now. That's all I can say. Get it? Because I just made a Clifford reference, and then I said rough. It's a dog pun. Send down Sanford. And who else? Who else? Doesn't really matter right now. Mironov, Rammer, Martin. And we got Denisov. And let's call up for the moment LeBerge and Rooney. So we got Rammer and Martin are off to junior. Denisov is not. So this team is a bit of a mess. Don't know if you've noticed. It's a little bit of a mess. So if we go best lines, the team is going to look like something like this, maybe? Maybe, possibly. How the hell are we going to do this? So Cunning, Atkinson, and that's it, our first line guys. Farabee and Norris on the second line. So I'm thinking maybe Panay on the top line, just to see what he's got. Farabee, Norris, and probably Simmons, Garlock, High Note, Conklin. That's what the team's looking like right now. It's decent. We need to figure out the fourth line. Although, in fairness, we could just stick with Kevin Rooney and Pascal LeBerge. We could. It doesn't really matter, I suppose. Defense, I mean, Lucic is an absolute monster. We still have the issue that Cale Makar would be playing out of his role, and that Quentin Hughes hasn't really developed. So we could still keep the challenge going of trying to keep Cale Makar happy. Our goaltending looks tremendous. So depending on what the AHL looks like here, let's see, goalies. So we have Lagasse and Peterson. So we still need one goaltender. We still need one goaltender if we can get one, just in case of injury. On defense, who do we have scratched right now? We have Smith, Moroz, and Vorobiev is not ours. It was somebody that the game signed for us because of lack of players. So I'm actually going to write his name down because I'll have to sign him. That way, well, actually, he's so low in overall, I don't have to sign him, to be honest, because I don't think Best Lines will ever put him into the lineup. So now we just have to worry about forwards. I mean, Rumble's in. Unless I sign somebody else. Although, no, we should have Moroz in, not Rumble. So, I guess Rumble and Smith are the first, or are the defensive depth options. Unless I sign, I mean, if I sign one more player, I mean, Moroz should get ice time. I could sign one more player, though, and again, have this defense looking pretty damn good. That was the question as far as what do we do. But Tyrone Moroz could play. Second round pick of ours was a bit of a swing and a miss. You know what, he'll play, and if we find out that the Laval Rocket actually have a chance to do something, then we'll change that. Let's reunite Mete and Jarabek. Let's also reunite Hronik and Haig. So there we go. That's our defense figured out. And then our offense is an outright disaster, where we could still use some depth. Korolyuk is, again, another player who doesn't currently belong to this franchise. But based on the number of players that we actually, have signed and sent down to junior at the moment, we don't have any roster spots. We have so many players down in junior that I can't properly set up this team the way I want to. And our AHL team, at least as far as organization goes, is going to suffer because of it. Because whenever there's an injury, it's going to sign some other guy that we don't need. So that is the problem. The NHL team is still looking decent. But at the AHL level, it's a disaster. Like, the AHL team in this series is worse than in any of my series. Like, this, I don't even know how to phrase it, but I think that pretty much sums it up. The AHL team in one of my series has never been this bad. And that is kind of concerning. But there's nothing I can do with how many players we have signed that are currently in junior. So with that said, I actually think our work here is done. We'll go ahead and give Rooney and Pascal LeBurge a chance on the fourth line, because what else can we really do unless we move out some of these players that are in junior? Again, we have a goalie. Who else do we have here forward-wise? Clifford, Celios, Martin, Dixon, Rammer. That's hilarious. Lehman. You could argue Lehman, not worth keeping. Rammer, not worth keeping. Dixon, slightly worth keeping. And then the other guys obviously are. And then on defense, Yzerman worth keeping. McCauley, not so much, but some people want to see how he progresses. So, needless to say, the same thing with Gagne. Some people want to see how he progresses. I think we all know the answer. Next episode could be interesting, because I might just decide to move players that we probably should move, let's be honest. Otherwise, we keep them. This team suffers a little bit, especially at the AHL level, and we just kind of see what happens. So I'm intrigued to know what you guys think we should do when it comes to the current setup of this franchise. But at the very least, the NHL team is half decent. It could certainly improve on the fourth line if we decide to get rid of some players. I mean, aside from that, the top line, we'll see how they do. Farabee, I'm still impressed by. Norris really needs to step up. I'd appreciate a decent season from the third line as well. On defense, what will happen with Cale Makar? I'm not entirely sure. There are still some question marks on this team. The only thing I'm really confident in right now is the goaltending with Richmond and Shea, but that'll probably prove to backfire on us in some way. So yeah, guys, that'll do it for this one. I feel like it's a shorter episode, but there's really not a whole lot left to accomplish unless I make those wholesale changes. But like I said, the feeling lately has been, hey, see how these prospects develop instead of getting rid of them. Well, if we're doing that, then, you know, it does have some consequences when it comes to how we set up our team. So let me know what you think. Excited to read the comments section as always. Until next time, have a good one, take it easy, support the video, support the channel, links in the description, all that happy horse stuff. Catch you guys later.